see you here. What a celebratory atmosphere here at Parliament.
Yeah.
And beautiful chalk wall with so many messages. What are you feeling being here, Yeda?
I was just overwhelmed, to be honest. We were here for the first time on Sunday, and we came when there was a lot of people here. We could barely walk through the crowd. There were so many people, and we brought our baby, and we brought the pushchair, and just joining in on the songs from the stage there, and just the overall power and atmosphere of the people is really evident here, and the need for change. Yeah.
The need for change. Tell me what, as a mother of a young one, what would you wish for your little, not even 3-year-old, what New Zealand would you wish for her? I'm sure it isn't what we've had from this government.
Not at all. I work for government. I won't say where I work for government, but I work in a government role, and I was pressured into a forced vaccination pretty much to keep my job. Mandates have come because of the mandates, and then I've just seen some people leave the workplace that I've left because they didn't want to get vaccinated, and these are respectable, deserving people with families that have had to leave their livelihoods, all in the sake of a mandate that makes no sense.
Why does it make no sense?
It makes no sense to me, because I feel that if the vaccinations are supposed to have worked, that everyone says they're supposed to, that we're already at that above 90% threshold. What is the need for mandates anymore if we're supposed to have, what is it called? Immunity. Yeah.
It's the word that's got lost. Hello, little one. Do you want to go to that talk? Or she's
Yeah.
loving it.
And I just feel that if we've reached that threshold, what's the point of masks, and what's the point of, forced mandates?
Why?
And why are they controlling people's livelihoods and jobs? And schools. Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't feel right.
I can hear you agreeing, Wyeth. What is it that you think is ludicrous about this? Because so many Kiwis are saying this now. It doesn't add up. So much does not add up.
No, nothing adds up, and 3 + 2 doesn't equal 3, you know what I mean? And that's the science that I'm getting. That's what I'm hearing constantly, to the point now where it's just made me numb. And walking around with such a weight in my body because I feel awake. I feel like I can see what's going on. I feel like I can read between the lines enough to know that what's being fed to me is not the case. And it's kind of like everybody around me in my personal life suddenly, for some reason, believes that now the government is telling the truth. Whereas a couple of years ago, we wouldn't believe a word they said. But when it comes to coronavirus, gospel, absolute gospel. And I'm like, weren't you the people a couple of years ago that were marching down the street with me, and now here you are saying that I shouldn't be here? I'm not allowed to express how I feel deeply in my bones?
This is really important, because you raised something as well. This is middle New Zealand, well-educated middle New Zealand. It's actually all of New Zealand. But there are a lot of highly educated people here, and yet they are talking, Mallard is talking about everybody here being Nazis and criminals. What would you say of the crowd here? These are educated people finally waking up and asking questions.
Oh my gosh, no. Like, there is, all you're hearing in mainstream media right now, if you're reading online through all sorts of different media outlets, is that it's a violent atmosphere, that there's, it's unsafe, that it's led by far-right groups. I don't see any far-right groups anywhere, and if they are here, they have a right to have no mandates as well. Like, and I'm from a black community, so what does that mean?
It's really interesting. I have been here now for 4 days, from the week before and the last few days. Yeah. Not one Trump flag have I seen. Wyeth, have you seen a Trump flag?
I've seen no Trump flags. I've seen no hatred. I've not heard anything that I would construe as negative or evil in any way.
So the Prime Minister this morning on the news was saying it's not safe for children, and children under 3.
You've got to laugh, because there's children absolutely everywhere. There's children, look, my nearly 3-year-old, I would never bring my child into an unsafe environment, because I am a protective mother. And I would never bring her into a place that felt like it was going to be unsafe for all of us. Yeah.
Hey, Mama, are you having fun? not wanting to talk too much, but it looks like she's really busy having fun.
Yeah,
This is not a child who's scared or under threat, is it?
Not at all. She's drawing with chalk on the chalkboard. Pretty colours, and she's writing about love. Look at all the love symbols on the wall.
So, Hera, that takes me back to that question. What do you want for New Zealand for your child? What New Zealand would you like to see emerge from this horror?
I would like to see a New Zealand that cares about everyone, not just the people that are vaccinated or that can be covered by mandate laws. I see the law as an unjust law and an unjust system. And we've seen that in the history of the world before. And at no time was that, the same things are happening. People are trying to stand up and they're being covered up by, media, lies and media. And just untruths. There's no truth about it. Like, people here are peaceful. They're being peaceful, they're being respectful. Everyone that's getting up on that stage up there with their microphones are only talking about being respectful. They're talking about being peaceful. They're talking about cleaning up rubbish. They're talking about taking care of each other. They're talking about being kind. Now, I think the Prime Minister needs to go back and have a listen. I think she needs to listen to that, because that's the rhetoric she was, expressing when she first started in government.
She needs to listen to that by herself, alone, with no one else around her, with her phone in another room. She needs to sit down and honestly listen to interviews like this that's being conducted now, as a mother, perhaps holding her baby, looking into her child's eyes, and listen to this, and then say how she really feels.
You mean without her army of PR spin doctors?
Yes.
But I don't know if that's possible.
Yeah, that's right. It may not be possible, but it's absolutely necessary.
Can you look down that camera behind you? I ask many people to do this and give, if she had walked down these stairs, and this is your one chance to speak to her as a father and somebody who loves this country, speak to her.
Jacinda, we are all gathered here as one whānau, as one people, as one family, to say that we do not want our children mandated, we do not want ourselves mandated, we want events to be opened up, we want to be moving around, we would be working if we could. I don't know how much money I've lost, Jacinda, it's beyond count now. It's ridiculous. I work in the events business. What events do I have on? Every time I set something up, it's either delayed or cancelled. And now I find myself working in a job that I don't agree with, saying things to people that I don't want to say, but I have to because I'm afraid. So walk around in fear. And I went down and I got vaccinated because they told me they would fire me. That's what they said to me, that I would be fired and my security card would not work anymore. So the last day possible I went down and I cried at the chemist. I haven't cried like that for a long, long time. That's what I have to say.
That is very, very moving. What has the strain been like, Wyeth? What has it been like? Have you been through a depression?
Yep. Yeah, I have, and this even came up last night, to be honest, in our conversations. I have been suffering a great deal, and I have really felt so heavy. I have felt frightened at times as well.
Job. You can't even talk about it with people, because all I'm hearing from people I work with, I look at those idiots, those protesters laughing, making fun of everyone here. People that have lost their families, people that have been injured by vaccines, people that have lost their jobs, people that have taken their kids out of school because they don't want them vaccinated, people that have... How can you be jeering at people that are being affected, their lives are being completely destroyed by it? Destroyed. Absolutely destroyed.
What's your message down that camera to this Prime Minister?
Yeah, I just think that she really, Jacinda Ardern, this is me talking to you as a mother, as a woman that is in leadership, that a woman that cares about her children and her family, a woman that cares about her community, a woman that cares about the freedoms and choices of other people. I beg you to not listen to those people around you, or step down. Step down if you can't face yourself and look yourself in the mirror anymore. It's just stop the mandates and give people their freedoms back, and do not enforce this as part of the political system in New Zealand right now. We do not want violence here, and it will lead to that. people will get angry and there will be violence if they have no choice. That's what happens when people are pushed into a corner.
There is an argument to say that this is part of what they want. Some people say this is part of what they want. They want to break down the country, break down the system. I believe the aroha here is it will actually be love that destroys the evil.
I'm really hoping that love overrides everything, and that that comes through into your boardroom and into your cabinet, and you feel the power of that, because there's only love here. There's only love. You can't push people into a corner and make them feel like they can't stand up for their rights and for their freedoms and for their freedoms of choice. And we shouldn't have to put something in our body to feel like we have the right to be heard and the right to live. The right to live. Because that's what it is, right? We have the right to live if we are getting a vaccination. You know, we should have a choice to live because we're breathing.
Wyeth, you also raised the issue of that depression, which I gather has been very widespread, and you're feeling scared. But I didn't sense a man who's scared today. Where has that fearlessness come from for you, Wyeth? Because if it's come for you, it will touch many other Kiwis as well.
Coming down here today and the other day when we came down, especially the other day, before we actually went to a 3-year-old's birthday, was the most empowering feeling I've felt in a long, long time. I'm a poet, and I've struggled to put pen to paper the last while, and it's sort of eaten at me. And I've opened protests in the past and things.
We have backgrounds. I used to sing 3,000 strong TPPA protests into a crowd, into government. I would open it with song. So I know the power of protest and with the power of love and the truth. I know how powerful that is, and it's right. And it's really, since we've become parents, we ended up having jobs that we weren't able to be creative at nights anymore. But we're still producers and we create events. I still work with artists and communities a lot. So I see how much it's divided communities. I've seen it personally divide my own, Pacific communities. I've seen it divide all sorts of creative communities, artists that haven't had work for a couple of years, just not events constantly being cancelled. Festivals, we work on live music festivals. We have the most incredible poets and musicians and dancers, and I'm talking international as well as national on that level. And then all of a sudden you feel like you can't be part of that beauty anymore because everything's getting cancelled because of mandates and fear and masks and just too much fear, everyone's too scared. It's not a time to be scared, it's a time to be together.
It's been so heartbreaking. Where have our artists been? Our poets, our writers, our musicians. Sesh is so beloved. Sesh is beloved because he speaks out fearlessly. Tell me about that poetry. Have you not been able to write?
Yeah, I have had a bit of a blockage. It's come and gone as I've sort of got stronger, but then things will come back. I mentioned earlier that I was going to get fired unless I got jabbed, and I struggled so much. But we have a house to pay for. We do need money. I tried to work in online stuff, but I'm a people person. And working online just doesn't gel with me quite at this stage, so I am trying though. I'm trying really hard.
Wyeth, will you write a poem and send it to us at FreeNZ, and we will put it up with imagery and we will honour it? If you feel like that, it's liz.gunn@freenz.org. But if you just look under FreeNZ, I would love that. Do you want to say the name of your business?
Right, so we're Hundleby and Chalmers Productions. We put on community-based events that have a social justice undertone to them. We promote freedom, love, and one whānau, one family.
Please send me anything on that as well with your poem, but I will await that piece of art. Without art, lovely, and without art, our soul suffers. Without art, it's art where so many of these thoughts and different ways of rebelling have come from, and she shut all that down. Would you be able to sing a waiata now?
Yeah. Oh, now?
Yeah, would you feel like it?
Yeah. Or maybe I can sing Te Aroha.
Yeah, it would be beautiful.
Maybe Te Aroha. Yeah. Te aroha, te whakapono, e te rangi mari e tātou tātou e. Te aroha, te whakapono, e te rangi mari e tātou tātou e.
Stunning. That's what it's about. For people who don't know, what are those lyrics saying?
I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's the love.
Okay, aroha is the love we have here. It's the love here.
We have so much love here, and I think if we're not, if we're not focusing on the love, then we're focusing on the division, and we need to give power to the love and that unity that we have as community, and as one people in Aotearoa. It's so important. I don't think we can do anything but that.
Do you realize the word unity is in community? Isn't that extraordinary? Exactly. What would you say to the police who last night tried to do sow division on behalf of this government?
To the police, to be respectful and to not create divide and to not arrest people that are being peaceful and being loving and not causing any problems and not causing any violence on the streets. There's no reason for any arrests at all at this protest. There is no one causing problems. And if there is, it'll be dealt to by the people that are here. They're very, very, very clear about no violence and no unruly and disrespectful behaviour. They keep on saying it over and over again on the stage. It's so clear.
I'm going to ask you one more thing that I find very sinister. There's this constant PR spin about feces, that there are feces on the ground. This was last week. Have you seen any feces anywhere here?
No feces at all.
There was spin that people threw feces. I'm going to go and have a look this morning. I don't believe from this crowd that happened unless it was a disruptor. But I found out yesterday, and I'm checking it out today, this government may well have paid for all portaloos to be booked up, stretching almost as far as Taupo, so that they cannot bring more portaloos in here. What would you say, if I can check that out, what would you say to a government that would be that disruptive to a peaceful group of people protesting in a democracy?
I think that's absolutely disgusting, and it's the lowest behaviour of people that are, they should not be trying to stop protests by booking up portaloos. I think it's ridiculous. It kind of makes me go, God, are we being children here? Are we actually adults, Are we actually, playing by the cards, or are we just trying to, I suppose there's a lot of that going on up there, isn't there?
Very.
Like children in a little game,
Which we saw with Trevor Mallard as well. They expose themselves when they do this, not us. They expose themselves.
Do you know, I cheekily once got permission from Trevor to film a poem here. A protest poem, which I haven't released. I don't know why, but I just haven't. Maybe I should. Maybe I'll send it to you. And he didn't know what the poem was about. If he did, then I don't think he would have said yes. Let's just say that. But I'll send that through.
Please, and that was filmed.
And that was filmed here with his signature on it.
Brilliant. Okay.
Oh, it's a
Yeah.
really powerful one too.
I put that up. We'll put the interview up, and please send your. Wonderful honour to talk to you both. Thank
So lovely to speak with you. I hope you get some amazing footage. As much as you can.
How can we not with Kiwis like this?
I know, it's amazing. Good luck.
Bless you both.
I could do a piece about the wizard who I think would be standing with us now. Who I met. Yeah. All right. So this is called The Wizard. Cloaked and worn black, perched on the third rung of a stationary wooden ladder at the top of the world, talking of equal rights in a New Zealand-topped globe in raw emotion. I am a wizard, says the man. Cathedral Square is the place to see him, they say. His hat a beacon to many, come census day, row and row again, for he is no statistic. I am a living work of art, says the man. Wizard worn from the ravages of rugby and the battle of the blue phone box, a life of crafting spells, the hat of the people comes off. I am retired, says the man, who always dances when it rains. Kia ora.
Beautiful.